the fall of America's greatest cities. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unchased Travel. Have you ever wondered what happens when a city loses its heartbeat? When people leave in droves, businesses shutter, and once thriving neighborhoods fall silent? Today, we're taking you on a journey through 5 American cities that are experiencing a rapid decline. Places that were once booming with life, but now stand on the brink of collapse. You won't believe what's happening behind the scenes. Stick with us until the end to see if your city makes the list. San Francisco, California. San Francisco. Just the name sparks visions of the Golden Gate Bridge, bustling startups, and vibrant city life. But the population decline has been nothing short of shocking. In recent years, the city has lost over 8% of its residents. The pandemic shifted tech companies to remote work, and suddenly, the inflated cost of living became unbearable. In 2022 alone, an estimated 60,000 people left the Bay Area, citing unaffordable housing, increased homelessness, and rising crime as primary reasons. Homelessness in San Francisco has spiked to nearly 8,000 people living on the streets, one of the highest per capita rates in the US. But it's not just residents who are leaving. The commercial real estate market is collapsing as companies abandon their office spaces, leaving parts of the financial district like a ghost town. Do you know major retailers like Nordstrom and Whole Foods have recently closed stores due to increased shoplifting and street crime? The city that once led the world in innovation is now facing the hard truth. Will San Francisco find a way back, or is it on an irreversible decline? Keep watching to find out how a city at the center of the tech universe is dealing with the fallout from its own success. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Motor City, the roar of engines, the birthplace of American muscle. But behind the nostalgia lies a city crumbling under the weight of its own history. Picture this. In the 1950s, Detroit had over 1.8 million residents. Today, just 600,000. Over the last several decades, the decline of the U.S. auto industry led to mass layoffs and factory closures, leaving the city economically devastated. In 2013, unfortunately, this city filed for the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history, with more than $18 billion in debt. The scars of this financial collapse are still visible across the city, with over 70,000 abandoned buildings and entire neighborhoods left vacant. While parts of downtown Detroit have seen investment and renewal, the majority of the city is still plagued by high crime rates, 46 homicides per 100,000 residents, and deep-rooted economic challenges. Do you remember the pride of owning a brand new American car? Now imagine watching that dream fade away as your neighbors pack up and leave, one by one. Before we move on, if you're finding this exploration of America's fastest dying cities as fascinating as we are, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives like this. Your support means the world to us. New Orleans, Louisiana. When you think of New Orleans, you think of jazz, vibrant nightlife, and Mardi Gras. But behind the beads and brass bands, this iconic city is facing a slow, painful decline. While Hurricane Katrina devastated the city in 2005, leaving 80% of it flooded, the challenges haven't stopped there. The population, which once stood at nearly 500,000, still hasn't fully recovered, with the current count hovering at around 390,000. But it's not just the storm damage that haunts New Orleans. The city struggles with some of the highest poverty rates in the country, affecting over 20% of residents. In 2023, New Orleans had the highest murder rate in the U.S., with 74.3 homicides per 100,000 residents. Despite its thriving tourism industry, the city's infrastructure is crumbling, and many neighborhoods still bear the scars of past disasters. Can the Crescent City leverage its deep cultural roots to rebuild itself, or will these challenges continue to drag New Orleans into deeper decline? Baltimore, Maryland. Once a beacon of industrial might and a hub for shipping, it has now become a shadow of its former self. In the 1950s, the city thrived, boasting nearly 950,000 residents. But today, over 300,000 have fled, driven away by economic devastation, surging crime, and an opioid epidemic that has turned once bustling neighborhoods into ghost towns. In 2020, Baltimore had one of the highest opioid overdose death rates in the country, with over 1,000 people dying from opioid-related overdoses. In some neighborhoods, you'll find more abandoned homes than occupied ones. Over 17,000 vacant properties remain across the city, stark evidence of Baltimore's decline. Baltimore's murder rate is twice the national average, and for many, the city has become synonymous with despair. Poverty grips large swaths of the population, and hope is slipping through their fingers. Despite sporadic efforts at renewal, it feels like the soul of the city is being swallowed whole by crime and addiction. Will Baltimore rise from the ashes of its own decay? Or has this once great city reached the point of no return, left to crumble as a tragic footnote in America's urban history? We are more than happy to hear from you. Comment your views below. These cities, once symbols of American growth and power, are now fighting for survival. What went wrong? Now here's where things get interesting. These cities are not just victims of external factors. Leadership decisions, economic policies, and social structures play a pivotal role in their decline. It begs the question, are there solutions we're missing? Could stronger community investments, equitable housing, and innovative business models breathe life back into these cities? Or have we reached the point of no return? Have you experienced this urban decline firsthand? Whether it's your hometown or a city you've visited, we want to hear your story. Share your personal experiences in the comments and subscribe to explore more. Because what happens next may reshape the future of urban America as we know it.